Hi, thanks for joining me. My name's Tim Zimmerman. I'm the founder and CEO of SM3Success.com and SM3 UltimateSuccessSystems.com. And for 40 years, I've been seeking and working on success principles and trying to dig down deeper into the unconscious, subconscious reasons why we do things and why people are successful rather than not being successful. In the last 40 years, I've done some amazing things. One is I sold and taught Dale Carnegie courses in my early career, and I also went to India and Egypt and studied under 5 yogic masters. I went through 5 Tibetan empowerments, 2 with the Dalai Lama, and I really delved into what the Think and Grow Rich books and Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude books actually talked about, as far as if you can control your thoughts, you can control your life. The question when I was reading all of those success books and going to all the success seminars is, yeah, everyone tells you that. I mean, even in the Bible, it says, as you believe, it is done unto you. Well, if everything's based off of what you think and what you believe, how can you actually work on that and change that to what you want it to be? So over the 40 years, I actually took the Dale Carnegie type success training. I also went through all of the big name speakers, the Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Landmark Education, all of those types of training programs, to know who and what I am and to try and actually control my thoughts and control my life. In doing so, what I put together now is a program that actually combines the success principles that we know that are successful for the last 100 years, along with the mind development and mindset control and thought control, one-pointed meditation, all of those types of things. I put it together in a program, combining it to create the SM3 Ultimate Success Systems. What SM3 stands for is Sales, Marketing, Management, and Mindset Control and Development, really. So I originally put those 2 together, and it was a very advanced course, advanced training. Then a protocol came through me where we can actually eliminate and neutralize your negative beliefs and negative self-judgments, negative dramas, traumas, negative anger, fear, worry, anxiety from your unconscious, subconscious, and reprogram that. So this particular system basically does all of that, and does all of that in training you, not just talking about it. You ever go to different seminars and they talk, and maybe you write. You're there for a weekend or whatever, and then you come back, try to apply those principles, and what happens? You just fall into your regular patterns, your regular thought patterns. Why? Because they didn't get into your unconscious, subconscious, and actually eliminate, neutralize the negative, and then replant it with the polar opposite positive. The question is, if you were able to become 10 or 20 or 30, 50%, 100% more effective in all of the areas of your life, what would that mean to you, to your income, to your family, and to all aspects of your life? Areas like effective communications, self-confidence, enthusiasm for life, controlling your thoughts, executive abilities like planning, organizing, delegating, controlling. How about if you could eliminate, neutralize your negative past happenings, clearing anger, fear, worry, anxiety, hopelessness, helplessness? Do you have things in your life that continue to repeat themselves? Bad things, typically. The patterns of your life, the negative patterns of your life, if you were able to overcome those so they didn't happen anymore, what would that mean to you? What about memory, increasing your memory? Meditation, do you know how to meditate? Do you know how to control your thoughts? Do you know how to control your words? How about stress relief, soul empowerment? Do you know what the 17 principles of success from Think and Grow Rich are? And do you know the how to think and grow rich? That's part of the training that I actually take people through. What about using your brain and subconscious mind? If you could be more effective in achieving your goals and objectives, and achieving those goals and objectives quicker, faster, easier. If you could develop your willpower, overcome your emotional and physical pains. If you could clear away all that is holding you back in your unconscious, subconscious. That's really the key. It's in your unconscious, subconscious that we pull the weeds of negativity, pull the weeds of failure, put them in a bag with the seeds, incinerate the bag, it goes poof, and then we plant the polar opposite positive. If we could do that and then rewrite the script of your life and reprogram your unconscious, subconscious the way you want it to be, not the way your parents programmed you, not the way your grandparents or your ancestral program came down to you, but now you're in control of that from your adult life, from your adult perspective. What would that mean to you? What would that mean to your business? What would that mean to your income? What would that mean to your family? What would that mean to your happiness? All of it would grow and develop. And this is how we do that. So in doing this over the last 40 years, I've learned a few things. One of those is that everyone has two situations. One is the as-is situation. The other is the could-be, should-be, wanna-be situation. So let me ask you, how do you get from where you are now to where you want to be? That's a question for you. How do you get from where you are now to where you want to be? Some people say you need to be persistent. Some people say you need determination. Well, in actuality, what you need to do is you need to have a plan of action to get from here to there. Some people call it the ladder of success. Some people call it the yellow brick road. But when you have that plan of action, do you automatically get there? Yes or no? Go ahead and shout it out. Yes or no? No. Typically what happens? You start going towards your goals and objectives and you hit a speed bump. What happens when you hit a speed bump? Hit your head, come back a little bit, and then you get more determination, get over the speed bump, go through the wall, around the wall, whatever it is. And then if you hit another speed bump, what happens? You do the same thing, roll back a little bit and say, I'm going to make this happen. Typically, when you hit the fourth or fifth speed bump, most people go down into, they take the chutes and ladders approach, and they go down into their BS and J. They actually say, oh, shoot, and they go down to the BS and J. What's the BS? Go ahead and say it. Bullshit of life, right? It's really your belief system and your self-judgments. Now, one of the things that I found is that all psychiatrists say that your belief system is implanted into you from birth to 6 years old. And some psychiatrists say even in the womb, you're actually learning what's going on in your outside life in the womb, but from birth to 6 years old. Okay, so the belief systems are implanted into you. And who does the implanting? Well, your parents and those people around, right? So let's call them the parents. So your parents implant this belief system. Where was your parents' belief system implanted? Or when was your parents' belief system implanted? How old were they? 0 to 6. And who implanted into them? Well, their parents. And how old were their parents when they were implanted? 0 to 6. So you see that the big epiphany I had was that all of us in the world has been implanted with a 6-year-old belief system that has come down through the ages from Adam and Eve or Noah, from that time all the way through our ancestors to now. And has that belief system really changed? It hasn't changed because it's implanted into your unconscious, subconscious. Now, psychiatrists also say that so you're implanted in the belief system, 0 to 6, from 5, 6 years old till 20 years old, what happens is that you start dealing with the world and your place in the world. So you create judgments about the world, your place in the world, what's going on with you, whether or not you could trust people or not. What happens? Well, the negative self-judgments of I'm not good enough, not smart enough, not beautiful or handsome enough, and being unlovable typically get created in your unconscious, subconscious during that period. So 5, 6 years old through 19 years old. The other thing that happens is that when you have dramas and traumas, you have your first boyfriend or girlfriend, you have different people that die, certain things happen to you, dramas, traumas, traumatic things happen. That all affects you during that time, and then that gets created further in your life. So that's the patterns that you have in your life. And if you're old enough and you actually see different patterns in your life, the question is, well, how do you get rid of the patterns? This program actually does that. So we have the 6-year-old programming, and then the negative self-judgments. I'm not good enough, not smart enough, not beautiful, handsome enough, and being unlovable, and that creates your personality traits. Why does it do that? Because your psyche actually looks at those negative self-judgments and it wants to overcome it, basically. So if you have a I'm not good enough self-judgment, or let's say someone does, how do they act the opposite to try and overcome that negative self-judgment in the psyche, in the unconscious, subconscious? How do they act? Well, those are typically the A-type personalities that need to do more, be more, have more, because they're proving to themselves that they are good enough. Well, what about the I'm not smart enough negative self-judgment? You know any geeks that actually prove that they are smart? The individuals that can argue both sides of an argument and win both sides, those typically are the I'm not smart enough negative self-judgments. How about givers? You know, people that give, maybe you yourself personally, you give to a fault, and then you don't feel appreciated. The reason why you don't feel appreciated is that the people that you give to typically didn't ask you to give to them in the first place, but you saw the need and you gave to them to show your love for them, of course, but really in the unconscious, subconscious mind, it's really to prove that you're lovable. So it's like the individuals that feel that they're not handsome or beautiful enough. Who are those individuals? Do you know models that really don't like themselves? Bodybuilders, they keep building their body for what particular purpose? It's so they look better, and then they look at themselves in the mirror and they have body dysmorphia. Okay? So all of these things happen to age 20, and then you go out into the world and start making a living, and all of the things from that first 20 years, it's like it's put into concrete in your neuroplasticity, and that's what creates the patterns of your life. That's what creates your thoughts, your words, your actions, your decisions. It colors everything. Okay? So we have those particular aspects of it, and in the SM3 Ultimate Success System, one of the first things that we do is we look at your as-is situation, your strengths and weaknesses, and more importantly, your negative beliefs and negative self-judgments, what's really controlling you. And we go in with you, and I train you to do this yourself. We go in with you to eliminate and neutralize your negative beliefs and negative self-judgments and replace them with the polar opposite positive. Okay? So what happens? Basically, if you're out of your own way and you know that you're good enough and you know that you're deserving and you know you can do things and you have more confidence and more enthusiasm for life, what are you going to do to get to your goals and objectives? Is that going to help you? It certainly is. What we found is that just by doing that aspect, what I call phase one, individuals increase their income typically from 3 to 10 times. In most cases, my clients actually tell me that they have gotten windfalls from the universe, basically, of 50,000. Some people, one client actually gained over 284,000 in 6 months without doing anything more in his business, without doing anything different. I have top producers that have gone from, real estate people, gone from 3 units on their board, is what they call it, to 17 units. I've had others go from 60 units to 90 units and continue to grow, and I think now this year they're looking at doing over 200 units. Is that important? If you're out of your own way, is that going to help you in your life? Is that going to help your children? Is that going to help your spouse? Is that going to help reduce your stress, worry, fear, anxiety, hopelessness, helplessness? If all of that's gone, what's that going to do for your life? That's phase 1. Phase 2 is that when we actually understand these aspects and your negative beliefs and negative self-judgments are pulled by the root, and we plant the polar opposite positive, and your mind and unconscious, subconscious starts working on that, the question is, what would you like to do with your life? What is your real purpose? What is your soul purpose? What are those goals and objectives? So we do an advanced goals and objectives workshop to figure that out. Once we have that done, then we go into how to develop plans of action to actually get from where you are now to where you want to be. All of a sudden what happens is that because we've eliminated, neutralized the negative, as this situation actually comes up and you start going downhill towards your goals and objectives. And that's why many of my clients actually say that once they go through this program, they achieve their goals and objectives quicker, faster, easier. Okay? So if those things happen and you were able to achieve your goals and objectives quicker, faster, and easier, what would that do to your attitude? Would it make you happy or sad? Make you happier, right? Would you have less stress or more stress? You'd probably have less stress, would you? If you had less stress and you were making more money, would you want to do more business? Yes or no? The answer is typically yes. Okay? If you did more business and you're happier about it, you're more enthusiastic in life, what would that do to your business? Well, it would increase your business, and everything would snowball from that. That's phase 2. Phase 3 is actually taking those goals and objectives, creating affirmations, pictures that go along with those affirmations, creating a vision board, and more importantly, a mind map movie of you actually living your perfect life in all areas of your life. And that movie is between 15 minutes and 30 minutes long. And then I train you to go into your unconscious, subconscious, into what they call alpha theta thinking, which many people call meditation. But going into the alpha theta brain wavelengths and actually watch that movie while you're in alpha theta. So you're reprogramming your brain. And there's special ways for us to do that. Now, that is the most advanced way to reprogram your unconscious, subconscious. And in many cases, if you're an individual that things haven't worked out for you in your life, if you've actually gone to different training programs or looked at the law of attraction or looked at controlling your thoughts and nothing really worked, the reason for that, or the reason why that happened, I believe is because your unconscious, subconscious is still programmed negatively and you have stumbling blocks to success. Okay? So this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 program, how long does that normally take? Well, if you're able to overcome all of that's happened in your life, which could be anywhere from 20 years to 65 years, how long do you think it would take to do that? Well, this is a comprehensive course, and we do it in 24 hours. And really, the 24 hours can be done a couple different ways. One would be a 3-hour session over 8 weeks is typically how I work with clients on one-on-one. So we can actually create habits of success as we're eliminating, neutralizing, and changing all of that. The other way is to go to a live presentation, a live program, live training, which is probably different than most of the things that you've gone through in your life. The reason being is that these are hands-on workshops. So in other words, it's not just a bunch of talking heads, there's no pitch fest or anything like that. But what we do is we get busy in, again, eliminating, neutralizing the negative, increasing your abilities in all of the areas that we talked about, and actually creating the habits of success. And I'm looking at doing a live presentation on that, which will be over 3 days. So we go 8 to 9 hours a day over a 3-day period of time. So what I have to offer to you, if that's of interest or if that resonates with you, that it would be a good thing to do, you probably have some questions. Part of the questions is, how much does it cost? What's the time involved in it? So in making a decision about it, basically the big question is, if you were able to do all of this, what would it mean to your life? Increase income, increase happiness, increase your happiness in your relationships with your spouse, with your children. One of the big things is that it will actually stop the negative patterns that were implanted into you that you're implanting into your children, okay? So the decision about doing all of this basically comes down to the ideas against going ahead with it compared to the reasons for going ahead with it. The typical reasons against doing something is time, money, and energy. Those are typically always the ideas against. The reasons for, or the benefits for the training, is that this is done with you. I train you to do it for yourself and basically those people around you, and it lasts a lifetime. The other is that your return on investment is typically 1 or 2 transactions. Another thing is that you work smart, you gain more, and you're being more. You're actually expanding the positivity in your life. One of my clients also said he was able to dream big dreams again. And again, if you were able to achieve your goals and objectives quicker, faster, easier, like one of my clients, Michelle Stiles, basically she said, and in the video testimonial, she goes, you know, when she was in class, she put down lofty goals. She attained those goals so quickly that she had to double those goals, double them again, and then triple them. Wouldn't that be neat for you? Okay. The other thing is, if you don't go ahead with this, what is that going to mean to you? If you don't do the work in your unconscious, subconscious, and you keep on going through your cycle that was actually implanted into you, what's going to happen? Basically, you're going to get what you have gotten, and you're going to continue to get what you've gotten. If you know somebody who's also drinking and drugging, why are they drinking and drugging? Typically, something's bothering them from the past. If someone isn't achieving what they really want to in life, typically it's because something's holding them back. They still have some stumbling blocks to success. So again, if all of that was done, if all of those were taken out of your unconscious, subconscious, and the polar opposite positive was placed in there, where the mind actually nurtures and grows that, what would happen to you in your life? It'd be a lot better, wouldn't it? I hope you agree. Everyone that I work with believes this, and as a matter of fact, if you do the work, I will guarantee the results.